David Perdue has been projected to win this Senate seat over Michelle Nunn. You can hear it right now. A cheer is breaking out. The excitement is filling this room. We have yet to see David Perdue yet. He has been watching these results in his personal hotel room with his family. But these people, you can tell they're excited, and you know he's got to be excited too. If you do go outside for any reason today, you're going to want to bundle up whether there's snow or not. But check it out. Behind me, I'm right outside the EOC, and they've got everything you need. They've even got a dive team trailer. They've got these ambulances right here, and then they've got this American Red Cross trailer. And if you look just past that in that brick building, that is their EMS for the EOC. It's ready and on standby to activate if they need it, if this rain were to turn into snow or even ice. This is the house where deputies say a custody battle turned into a hostage situation. The sheriff believes Stephen Hudson was on meth when he barricaded inside with his 2 young kids. Richard Meredith, it's a handwritten sign on a normal sheet of paper, but it's got a commanding message. It says, pull up pants before entering, no loud music, no sagging, or no service, and the store says it's gotten a lot of support. The bus tore through this grass right here, rolling off the road and down this embankment, eventually landing down here on its side where you see those tracks in the red Georgia clay. Then he was back out the door, down these steps, and they loaded him into a van right here at the curb of this street. And I hit at least 5 stores today, Laura. Luckily, the crowds were not nearly as bad this morning as they are now. Now everybody's got a cart and we're all fighting for space in the aisle. The front of 1102 is right at the top of this block, but this is where the most extensive damage is. This is the entranceway to the back part of the bar, and they boarded up this doorway here. And if you look right above the wood panels peeking out underneath it, you can see the singed and charred part, even blistered part of the building, and it runs all the way up to the roof there. Fire officials confirm this is a case of suspected arson, and they believe cameras may have caught the person who set this fire. This towel has been sitting out here for only a couple hours, and look, it's rock solid. So if this weather is doing this to a towel, imagine what it could do to your pipes overnight.
Only 9 years old, Christie.
Yeah, she's not even in the double digits yet, but don't let that age fool you. She knows what she's doing with a golf club, and this girl has a message as powerful as her swing. Actually, he started talking about this only minutes ago, so what we're learning is in real time. In fact, I didn't even have time to put stuff in the prompter, so I'm going to read off these sheets right here and tell you everything I know. But basically, Governor Deal made the announcement that a large cyber security facility and cyber training facility would be built on the old Golf and Gardens property. About half the way there, I start struggling. As you can see, I'm clearly out of breath. That buoy is a lot farther than it looks from shore. Hey Monique, luckily Augusta was spared from the worst of it, but places like Albany, Georgia and Barnwell County in South Carolina were right in the path of this storm. A drone actually captured a crazy sight after a tornado hit northwest Denmark on Saturday. Now, we seem to have lost some of our video capabilities, but I have tweeted all of these pictures out on my Twitter, which is at ChristieWRDW, if you want to follow along with me. Well, you actually can't open the bottled beer until November 21st, so maybe just in time for Thanksgiving, guys.
Christie, I know you're on the clock, but that guy just snuck a sample right there behind you.
I'm a lucky girl today, aren't I? Now, they have no bread and milk here, but they do have showers and pretty much everything you would need to track bad weather rolling through. Rows of phones, seat for every important person in the county, and big wide screens with all this data. And there are 0 cars in this parking lot right now, but I want to show you a little bit of a different scene. Bear with me while I move this camera for just a second. Just across the street, you'll recognize this store. That's Target right over there. Now, take a look. There are still cars over in that parking lot. In January, the Harris family found their father's vault like this, floating up out of the ground in a puddle of water where the grave was supposed to be. Welcome back to Operation Football Live in our late night tailgate presented by Pepsi and Papa John's. I'm Christie Ethridge. Here at Curtis Baptist, quarterback Christian Reed fakes a handoff, instead takes it himself, breaks away around the side, and there he goes, diving into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. I thought I'd check in from the Coastal Bureau on this Friday afternoon, and if it sounds at all like I'm a little out of breath, it's because I am. I literally just ran from that stage over there where I'm emceeing to be here to give you an update and kind of a sneak peek into this event this Friday night. For a kid with no criminal history, something just snapped. Now the solicitor details a day where an argument over an alarm clock may have led to murder. A settlement has officially been reached in this property damage lawsuit after a long back and forth in court today. A lot of this happening behind closed doors. The judge came out after about an hour and a half and said this case has been resolved. But I want to bring in one of the victim's attorneys right here. This is Harry Revel. He's been representing the victims in this case. Harry, tell me how you're feeling. Richard, even though it was freezing today, all 9 of them spent the day gutting the house, searching through the rubble to find anything they could save. They've lived here for years, but today their home is unfamiliar.
I've tried to not cry. I've cried so much, I don't even know where I have tears left.
But sometimes the tears come. And with 7 kids, you never know when they will.
I feel like I don't have a home. I don't have anywhere anymore because this was all we had.
Memories now hanging from the ceiling.
As you can see up top where the flames went in and came out. The refrigerator was right there.
But the fire started behind the dryer, a place that's prone to flames. But this time the family's still wondering why, because the dryer wasn't even running at the time. The fire sparked sometime Wednesday morning, which is good and bad. Wednesday was actually Henry's birthday. But although it wasn't the best birthday present, it was the only reason the family was out of the house when the fire started.
It's devastating, especially when you work all your life. Just say you can't own a home.
And not just any home, his great-grandmother's home. The Red Cross put them up in a hotel for a few nights, but soon they'll squeeze in with family until he can rebuild.
The income that we have coming in, it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year.
And just as it starts to feel unbearable,
We worked so hard to get this, and now we have nothing.
childlike faith shines through.
Mama, I found a lot more pictures.
Thank you, baby.
The edges are burned to a crisp, but they're salvageable.
This is amazing because I thought they were all gone.
The only thing still burning is their love for one another, and they say that will get them through. Luckily, the family was not home at the time of the fire, so everyone is okay, but sadly their 1-year-old puppy was in the house and did not make it out, so everyone's still hurting from that. But if you'd like to help this family, they have set up accounts for donations. I'll post that information on our website, wrdw.com.
In an exclusive On Your Side investigation, Christie Ethridge looks at how faulty brakes and working through severe weather left a family without a son.
Not many people know what it's like to lose a son. William Hill does.
But to find out that there was some problems with the equipment, some of the problems, I'm not sure what, because I haven't read the investigation.
But I have, and this is what it says. On June 22nd, 2015, Mike Hill boarded this crane when around 5:45 p.m., severe weather caused a microburst or small tornado. Those high winds pushed the cab of the crane down the track until it crashed into the rail stops. The force of the impact caused the crane to derail and the cab to dislodge and swing freely, only held by cables and wiring. As the cab dangled there, Hill was thrown from it, 70 feet to his death.
I'll never hear his voice again. I'll never be able to hold him again. It's a loss that I can't describe.
Mike's father, William, says he learned this through News 12 stories.
Other than what you have broadcast, I still don't know the details of the accident.
You might think that since weather was a factor, it couldn't be helped, but you'd be wrong. The accident happened around 5:45. This is a picture from our weather center of what the sky looked like at that time. People on site say the weather happened with no warning. Eyewitnesses say it was raining so hard you could barely see. The wind so strong it was shaking trucks. In the woodyard, they rely on security to notify them of bad weather. On this day, a worker says, quote, "If security warned us, didn't hear it." But News 12 archives show there was plenty of warning.
Yeah, there's some storms out there this afternoon, packing a punch.
We were on the air at 5:10, showing a cell with lots of lightning heading straight for the plant. The severe weather warning was issued 2 minutes later at 5:12 by the National Weather Service, an alert that would have come over the radio.
In our mind, we can picture Michael falling to his death from the crane. What went through his mind during that short period of time? It's the hardest part, just thinking about it all the time.
According to this OSHA report, weather wasn't the only factor. Over the radio, other workers heard Mike calling out, coming down, no brakes. Documents show the company had work orders to replace 4 of the 12 motor drives because of brakes being bad. Those were issued in February, 4 months before the accident. They were never replaced.
If they knew the brakes were defective, why were they allowing it to continue operating?
OSHA cited international paper for 2 violations, 1 for not having proper braking means, and 2 for failing to ensure Hill was wearing a seatbelt. Those violations were only $7,000 apiece.
It's more than a slap in the face. It's just like you've been run over by a train. It's devastating.
Making it hard now, 7 months later, to move on.
I would like to see somebody held accountable for what happened. That's what the bottom line is. Accountability.
So obviously OSHA does a big job of investigating, but they also have recommendations when it comes to accountability. What about that?
They do. The accountability comes in a list of corrective actions that they have suggested for the plant. There are 7 pages of corrections that I've gone through, and I've listed some. The redesign crane procedure, including when to tie down the crane. They also mentioned upgrade the storm brake system, integrate an anemometer, which calculates wind speed, and install internet on the operator's computer so that they can monitor weather radar. Now, most of those corrective actions were supposed to be completed by last Friday, so I've reached out to the plant to see if they have. They gave us a general statement saying we continue to implement redesign improvements and enhance our safety management systems based on OSHA's findings.
But faulty brakes on a crane is a pretty serious violation. Has this family considered filing a lawsuit? Have they said anything about taking action against International Paper?
Well, they say that they have met with a lawyer, but according to laws in Georgia, because it is a workers' comp claim and he is no longer here, they cannot sue International Paper for a death on the job. Now, there may be other loopholes that an attorney might know about, but at this point, no, there's no lawsuit.
So $14,000 in fines.
And that's it.
All right.
Christy, thank you.
That's right, Ryan. It was a special moment under the leaderboard today as the mayor made the official announcement, and now Augusta truly is his home away from home. It's a tradition that is almost as long as the tournament itself. Hunter Gammon has been coming to the course for decades.
This is 6-1. This is 6-1. My first one was 1954.
For 1 week every year, he makes Augusta his home. Staying in the same room of the same hotel, in a place that's all about history and making moments, Gammon has lived it and created memories he'll never forget.
Probably Jack NICKLAUS winning his last one.
When we caught up with him last year, there was only one thing left he hadn't experienced in our town.
I was suggesting that maybe I should get a citizenship. Now, I've been coming here this is 61 years.
Today, we're making it official.
I'm glad that you love our city, but you are now hereby officially an honorary citizen of Augusta, Georgia.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
A new memory for each year, and at 90 years old, he says this one tops them all.
This will be number 1, probably for the whole 61 years, but certainly for this year.
A piece of Augusta that's always been in his heart, now in his hands.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't wait to get back home now and get on the phone.
As he walks around his 61st year, watching all the golfers compete to win, Gammon says he's already won.
Augusta's newest citizen.
It's not a green jacket, but it is like a green card to keep visiting the city he loves year after year. And walking around this course actually inspired him to build a golf course of his own back in his hometown of Reidsville, North Carolina. Even his wife became pro.
Christie, who does he want to win this year?
Well, Ryan, he said as an old-timer himself, he's going to pull for an old-timer, and he would love to see Phil Mickelson win the green jacket this year.
Great story. Thanks for that.